Friends from media, good afternoon. Welcome to today's press conference. Now the floor is open to questions. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez's visit to China has drawn wide attention. What's China's comment on his visit, and what's her expectation for the growth of China-Spain relations? From April the 11th to 15th, Spanish Prime Minister Sanchez paid an official visit to China. This is his fourth visit to China in 4 years. It was warmly received by China, and the visit was a great success. President Xi Jinping, Premier Li Qiang, and Chairman Zhao Leji met and held talks with him. The leaders had in-depth and friendly exchanges of views, reached new important common understandings, and sent a clear message of China and Spain enhancing communication, consolidating mutual trust, and deepening cooperation. And the outcomes are reflected in the following 3 aspects. First, to strengthen political mutual trust. Over the past 4 years, no matter how the world's evolved, China and Spain have attached importance to the bilateral relations in designing foreign policies, accommodated each other's core interests and major concerns, and served as each other's trustworthy partners. Spain reaffirmed its commitment to the One China principle. The 2 sides agreed to further step up strategic communication, decided to establish diplomatic and strategic communication, decided and through deeper understanding and mutual support, realize more stable and sustainable growth of bilateral ties. Second, to jointly pursue innovation-driven development. Our cooperation is in the interest of both peoples, respond to the trend of time, and enhance both sides' capability and confidence in following a path independently chosen. New energy cooperation between the 2 sides has produced fruitful outcomes and contributed to the green transition, helped respond to challenges in a changing and turbulent world, and set a fine example. During the visit, Premier Li and Prime Minister Sanchez witnessed signing of 15 cooperation documents in many areas. They agreed to further implement the action plan on enhancing the comprehensive strategic partnership, enhance cooperation in such areas of trade, new energy, and smart economy, and promote people-to-people exchanges. China stands ready to import more quality products from Spain and encourage more Chinese companies with capability to invest in Spain. The Spanish side believed that enhancing cooperation with China in areas of new energy and science and technology will help boost growth, increase resilience, and respond to challenges. Spain stands ready to have closer synergy with China on development strategies, leverage complementary strengths, and create more outcomes of cooperation. Third, to jointly answer the question of our time. As President Xi Jinping said, how a country approaches international law and order reflects its view of the world, order, and values and responsibility. China and Spain are both countries that value principle and justice, ready to stand on the right side of history, jointly uphold true multilateralism, and reject any backslide into the law of the jungle. Spanish side highly commended the 4 major global initiatives put forward by President Xi and expressed readiness to have closer communication and collaboration with China to jointly uphold international law and respond to global challenges. The 2 sides agreed that deeper mutual understanding and cooperation between China and Europe benefits both sides and the wider world. Spain stands ready to play a constructive role in bridging differences between the 2 sides in economy and trade and building stronger China-Europe relations. During his visit, Prime Minister visited Tsinghua University and the Chinese Academy of Science. He expressed hopes to work with China to promote international cooperation, build a multipolar world, and protect the Earth, continuing the miracle of humanity. His speech drew extensive discussion and resonance, and we believe that our cooperation will better benefit the peoples of both countries and add greater warmth and positive energy to the world peace, development, and prosperity. Next one, please.
RTTV. Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov just concluded his visit to China. How does China comment on the visit?
On the visit, you can check the readouts we already released. And I would like to stress that both sides will seize the trend of the time, fully implement the important consensus reached by the 2 heads of state, and bring to a new height the China-Russia Comprehensive Strategic Partnership of Coordination and our mutually beneficial cooperation in various fields. Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。新华社记者提问。
It is reported that the U.S. said
有和平。
Xinhua News Agency, the U.S. said that the peace talks with Iran will happen in the next 2 days. In Pakistan, was China's comment, and will China continue to play a mediating role? China welcomes all efforts conducive to the end of the conflict and commends Pakistan's mediating role that is just and balanced that helped reach a temporary ceasefire arrangement between the U.S. and Iran. The pressing priority is to prevent by all means a relapse in fighting, maintain the momentum for ceasefire that did not come easy, and stick to resolving disputes through political and diplomatic means. Yesterday morning, President Xi Jinping, when meeting the UAE Crown Prince, made 4 propositions. They are: stay committed to the principle of peaceful coexistence, the principle of national sovereignty, the principle of international rule of law, a balanced approach to development and security. The 4 points represent China's stance and is part of China's effort of promoting peace and the end of the conflict and advocating dialogue in resolving differences. China stands ready to work with the international community to continue to contribute to the early restoration of peace and stability to the Gulf and Middle East region. Next one, please.
Could you turn on your microphone? Thank you.
The U.S. trust.
美国财长贝森特表示，中国在中东危机中一直是一个不可靠的伙伴，并且威胁要对中国加征关税。接下来，特朗普将访华，这会不会对访华计划有什么影响？
关于伊朗局势。
On the situation in Iran, China has made its solemn position clear more than once. As to President Trump's visit to China, both sides have maintained communication on it. Next one, please.
发言人好，环球时报。
It is reported that the town mayor of Yonaguni had a meeting with Japanese defense minister, agreeing the deployment of an air defense missile unit to its town. What's China's comment? China is gravely concerned. Japan, under the cover of so-called defense and counterstrike, strengthens the deployment of offensive weapons, including missiles, in regions close to China. In fact, it is an attempt to build a forward fortress of military confrontation and threaten the regional peace and stability. Japanese far-right forces are pushing for a more offensive, expansionist, and dangerous defense policy, which goes far beyond the scope of self-defense and Japan's exclusively defense-oriented policy, and a sarcasm of Japan's self-claimed image as a country of peace. We noted that owing to miserable memories of history, local people are worried to be dragged into wars and end up as cannon fodder. There are also many opposition voices within Japan. Japanese militarists once launched the war of aggression, bringing catastrophe not only to the whole world, but to the Japanese people themselves. Running counter to the public opinion seeking military expansion will only repeat history. We urge the Japanese side to do serious soul-searching in its history of military aggression, honor its commitments, and exercise prudence on its words and actions in military and security domain. International community must be highly vigilant and firmly stop the rampant spread of Japan's remilitarization and neo-militarism. Next one, please.
Thank you. Question from AF.
法新社，俄罗斯外长拉夫罗夫刚刚结束了访华，并且提出将会 帮助中国弥补因为霍尔木兹海峡被封锁所导致的能源短缺问题？能否对此进行评论？
关于霍尔木兹
On the Strait of Hormuz, we have made China's position clear more than once. China and Russia continues to carry out cooperation, including energy, on the basis of mutual benefit and respect. Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。北京日报
Today marks the 11th National Security Education Day, with the theme of ensuring both development and security to safeguard the new journey of the 15th five-year plan. In the world of increasing volatile and fluidity, how can the diplomatic front better safeguard national security and promote world peace? Security is of paramount importance to a nation. On April 15, 2014, General Secretary Xi Jinping put forward the overall national security concepts, providing the fundamental guideline and roadmap for national security in the new era. Over the past 12 years, April 15th has been marked with a wide variety of activities aimed at raising awareness on the subject across the nation. The annual events demonstrating that national security is for the people and by the people have galvanized a whole-of-society commitment to safeguarding national security. Safeguarding national security is a sacred mission of diplomacy. We resolutely defend national sovereignty, security, and development interests, fight back at attempts of containment and suppression of external forces, and strive to ensure a favorable external environment for building China into a strong nation and for national rejuvenation. We work with the world to act on the global security initiative, engage in international security cooperation, and contribute to a better security governance, and offer China solutions to help promote the peaceful settlement of disputes. With all these efforts, China is increasingly perceived as a force of peace, stability, and justice in the changing world. In 2026, the year that marks the beginning of the 15th five-year plan, we will continue to be guided by the vision of a community with a shared future for humanity and work with all peace-loving countries and peoples to build a world of lasting peace and universal security. Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。湖北广电记者提问。据报道，国际货币基金组织 IMF 最新报告。
Hubei Media Group, it's reported that the latest IMF report indicates deeper, longer conflict in the Middle East could push global economy to the brink of recession and decides to cut the outlook by 0.2 percentage points. According to UN agencies, the war will push another 45 million people into hunger and 32 million people into poverty. Some Pacific Island countries facing energy crises have declared the state of emergency. Can I have your comment on that? The IMF report again proves that the war has caused not only heavy casualties and losses, but also severe spillover effect, hampering global economic growth and improvement of people's well-being. It is a war that should not have happened, nor should the international community, the least developed countries in particular, bear the brunt. The pressing priority is to prevent by all means a relapse in fighting, resume the traffic via the Strait of Hormuz, and restore peace and stability to the Gulf as soon as possible, and prevent the war from causing greater impact on the global economy and energy security, or even a humanitarian crisis. Next one, please.
好，谢谢发言人。深圳卫视记者提问：近日，古巴国家主席
Shenzhen TV recently, President of Cuba, Diaz-Canel, in an interview with U.S. media said that Cuba is ready to have dialogue with the U.S. from the position of respect and equality without conditioning. He will not step down as the U.S. has requested. Cuba does not pose any threat to the U.S. and the U.S. has no reason to resort to military aggression. The U.S. also again threatened to stop by Cuba after finishing with the war in Iran. What's your comment? China firmly opposes coercive diplomacy and would firmly support Cuba in safeguarding national sovereignty and opposing external 。           interference.
谢谢发言人。深圳卫视记者提问：近日，古巴国家主席
Shenzhen TV recently, President of Cuba, Diaz-Canel, in an interview with U.S. media said that Cuba is ready to have dialogue with the U.S. from the position of respect and equality without conditioning. He will not step down as the U.S. has requested. Cuba does not pose any threat to the U.S. and the U.S. has no reason to resort to military aggression. The U.S. also again threatened to stop by Cuba after finishing with the war in Iran. What's your comment?
China firmly opposes coercive diplomacy and would firmly support Cuba in safeguarding national sovereignty and opposing external interference.
下一个问题。
Next one, please.
还有其他？
Are there any other questions? And this concludes today's press conference. Thank you.